Hello, welcome back to Let's Play Shadowrun Hong Kong. We are doing the run on the ship, looking at biological research. It looks like they're trying to clone mages. At any moment, we're going to have Fate Testarossa burst in on us and try to kill us as part of this thing. Well, not kill us, knock us out with magic, but mistaking us for people involved in this. Anyway, here we go. Ergo, Omega Sequence number 35358G is a project decoupled from the usual safeguards against project overruns. We have been granted extensive magical assistance in our pursuit of higher metagenic understanding as well as autonomy from legal concerns. As such, Omega Sequence project materials must be kept in Eastern Tiger secure facilities only. Deviation from this may result in local law enforcement interest, and subsequent cleanup costs can be prohibitive. 2. Phenotypic alteration. Phenotypic alteration is the key process which allows for the Omega Sequence project to progress. Ordinarily, an organism's phenotype is set. It cannot be changed after a very early point in development. Morphology, phenology, replication processes, any alteration in the coding sequence of a living organism is invariably fatal, except in the case of the Omega Sequence. A combination of alkylating agents, ambient mana control, and potent alpha emitters allow us to control the replication of the Omega Sequence metagene. This is accomplished through the alteration of interactions between DNA and their astral shadows, the building blocks of metagenetics and mana-based abilities. Excuse me. To understand this concept, consider an Indonesian shadow play. The story one watches is not on the puppets, but the shadows they cast. The skillful puppeteer manipulates not just the puppets, but the space between the screen and the viewer. So too is it with metagenetics. Magical aptitude, metagenetic traits, and formerly unknown parazoology are revealed when mana levels reach a sufficient point to allow the astral shadows of DNA to engage in their delicate, powerful dance of replication. To change the metagenetics of an organism, we do not manipulate only the subject's DNA, but the space between that DNA and the astral plane. We cast the requisite shadows, engendering change that cannot be explained solely by base pairs, alleles, and nucleotides. Controllers are a challenge. Controllers is a delicate art. It requires patience, perseverance, as well as scientific acumen, but with a fine enough degree of control, we will be able to replicate magical abilities, trait expression, and black swan effects. What are these black swan traits? Individuals born during events which cause ambient mana to spike have been known to express extreme magical potential and meta traits not possessed by the majority of this metatype. Research into Homo sapiens nobilis subjects born during the awakening, for instance, indicate that ordinary elven longevity simply does not apply, that there is no upper bound to their teleometric regeneration. Effectively, they appear to be immortal. Oh, the ones that were born around the awakening. Longevity research. The goal of the Omega Sequence project is to harness and unlock these black swan meta traits, beginning with the question of longevity factor in Homo sapiens nobilis. Treatments for extending human lifespans already exist, of course. Organ transplantation can extend life up to 50 years. The ionization treatment can theoretically extend life for several hundred, yet the drawback of these are apparent to any who scratch the surface. The ionization is prohibitively expensive and erodes the patient's essence with every treatment, leading to eventual systemic collapse. Organ transplants can preserve the body, but plaques build up in the patient's neural tissue, and the patient must take a cornucopia of immunosuppressants for the duration of their life. True longevity lies in preventing aging from occurring at all. Omega Sequence number 358G represents our most advanced metagenic prototype yet. Preliminary results indicate that the test clone's age will lock at 19 years and progress no further. In order to test this, we have induced artificial aging of the clone through fast-growth organ replacement process. Unfortunately, this has led to an explosive cancer mutation rate, rendering it non-viable for any other types of metagenetic research. Even so, the value of this test subject cannot be overstated. Download data. You download the data, wiping all traces of it off the computer. Okay. The cold storage tank, and probably with real life people would have gone to this first. Cold storage tank and attendant machinery are lit from within the organic soup by flickering baleful lights. Tank containing Omega sequence number 358G chugs quietly with the hum of pumps and coolant. As you look at the tank, the fluid shifts and there is a soft thump as massive organic matter drifts up against the glass. Pale, lidless eye stares at you from within the tank. The face it resides in is a ruined mass of tumors and scabrous pustules. A mutated mass of teeth and indeterminate growths dominate what should be the nose and mouth region. As you look, it fixes its lone eye upon you, the pupil flickering back and forth as it tracks your motions. Gobbet gasps, quickly slaps a palm against the tank. She peers at it intently for a few seconds, and a deep shudder rolls through her body. She turns to you, her voice barely above a whisper. Noelle, this thing is intelligent. I don't think it's intelligent, but it's definitely living, despite being mostly made of cancer and disease. We need to shut this life support system down, Gobbet. Nothing deserves to live in this condition. Isabel glances at the creature, putting one hand to her mouth to stifle a retch. Gobbet leans closer to the tank, still whispering, Only a few more minutes, monster. You'll be at peace soon. Take samples and turn off power. Eastern Tiger Cool Core Pro. There we go. After a few moments of wearing, a small drawer opens to present you with a rack of vials. Each one contains a scrap of tissue. You power down the machinery, the lights in the vat dim, and the creature slowly closes its single eye. As the last hum of power fades, the creature drifts away from the glass. With the data and tissue samples secured, you are ready to make your exit from the Naichi. Pulling your comlink, you dial Captain Yomo. The Malaysian orc's face springs to life on your comlink, his tusky maw spread in a grin. Yomo's listening! You ready for a pickup, my friend? We're standing by and have eyes on the ship. Make it that fast. Things might heat up. Easy, We'll be there in a few minutes. Be ready right where we dropped you off, my friend. With that, Yomo disconnects the call. In a few minutes, the only thing between you and Hong Kong will be open ocean. The last details to inform the Johnson everything is complete and have him transfer payment. You rapidly dial the number Kindly Chang gave you for Tigath. The elf on the screen has bearing of someone with no time for pleasantries, and his tone is flat when he speaks. This is Tigath. Is the task done? We're done here. We can release the data at the time and site of your choosing. That was swiftly done. Unfortunately, there's a complication. I can't transfer you payment until we meet in person. I've had a tail on me since I arranged the run with Kindly Chang. I think the Siopa's caught up with me and are watching to see what I'm up to. I can shake the tail, but I need to ensure my safety before this is done with. I can help you with that, but it'll cost you. Tigath grimaces but nods his head in agreement after a few seconds. I'll pay whatever it takes to get them off my back. I can't. If I can't, my family's dead. I have a safe house in Ho Chung village that I set up before landing here. Meet me there. Call me when you're in close, and I'll shake the tail. As long as we get it handled in a hurry, I should be clear to get out of Hong Kong. I guess we don't have much of a choice. I'm sorry about all this. I really am. You disconnect the call and pocket your comlink. Things just got a lot more complicated. I don't like this one bit, Noelle. Last-minute plan changes are the fastest way to get killed. Especially if someone bloodthirsty like the Siopa rings are involved. This whole thing stinks. Yes, sure does. How else are we going to get paid? Listen, just keep your eyes open and be ready for anything. I want to come home in one piece, okay? As you start to move away from the Omega sequence camp cargo, you realize your comlink is buzzing with an incoming call. Pulling it back out of your pocket, you answer. The caller's expression is pleasant, but there's a level unspoken menace in his eyes, the glint of a killer. Good evening, Noelle. My name is Huang J. Min. I represent the Blue Heaven Sopa Ring. I've just become aware that you are in possession of data and tissue samples from Project Omega sequence number 358G. I would like those samples, and I'm willing to pay you for them. What makes you think I have these items? Quite frankly, your employer doesn't know the first thing about Matrix security. We've hacked his comlink and his rental car. I simply redialed you once you called him. My apologies for such an unorthodox introduction. A woman of your stature should be afforded more respect. But time is short. I understand you are an associate of Kindly Chang's. My own organization is far too trivial to have attracted her notice, but I believe you can help me change that. Merely doing business with you will increase our standing a great deal, since I have information that may save your life. Perhaps we can come to an arrangement. What do you mean, save my life? The Blue Heaven Ring has been retained by Eastern Tiger in order to prevent the theft of the Omega Sequence data and samples. The very things you have just taken. Your employer, whose name is Tigath Wright, has been attempting to acquire them for some time. The entire reason the data and samples are being shipped to Seoul is because of a botched Shadowrun, one on the Eastern Tiger facility in Tacoma, where the project was being developed. Tigath Wright was the Johnson for that run. Your employer is not who he says he is, nor are his motives pure. He was never employed by Eastern Tiger. He has no family in Seoul. As near as I have been able to determine, he's an agent of Tier Tarangar Information Secretariat. Spy, if you will. So, what's a Tier Elf doing hitting Eastern Tiger, the longevity stuff? I'm not certain, but I suspect the Council of Princes has an interest in suppressing research into elven longevity. Every scientist working on this question of potential elven immortality has been disgraced or disappeared, except for those employed by Eastern Tiger. I suspect the elves have secrets they'd rather not have the rest of the world know. Wright's attempted to intercept Eastern Tiger's cargo at every port it's landed on. The strike in Tacoma was only the first. There was a second attempt in Perth, a third near the Riau Islands, against the very ship you're now on. Don't think for a moment that Wright will hesitate to kill you as soon as you hand the data over to him. So what do you say? I pay for the data you have, and both of us can eliminate Wright and whatever hired guns he's brought along. I think this is fair arrangement. If Wright double-crosses me, I'll kill him myself. No deal. Wang's expression darkens and his tone grows cold. I'd hoped we'd be able to come to an agreement, but if you refuse to see reason, bullets may prove a more effective argument. No one crosses the Blue Heaven Ring and lives. Your death will be an abject lesson in that. To hell with that guy. He talks big, but I'm betting he's some small fry punk trying to chase our tail. Let's get back to Hong Kong. I'm not worried about him. You put your comlink away and check the time. Captain Yomo should be arriving any minute. Time to head back to Hong Kong and what awaits. So let's see. Pan out. It looks like nobody's moved. You guys are still looking the wrong way. We'll go around this way. Where's the way out? Oh, of course. I am going to save before I click that. Always look for the orange triangle. I like the fact that it's orange. Okay. We're back here, and we're going to disembark. We killed 8 people. 9 if you include the test subject. The boat ride back to Hong Kong is tense. Even Captain Yomo's jovial nature does little to lighten the mood. The deep storm swirls in the sky behind you. Although you've accomplished your mission, you wonder what's in store once you reach Ho Chung village. What will be waiting for you in Ho Chung? Who will betray whom? And most importantly, how can you survive the night and still get paid? You're certain these mysteries will be revealed, but how you'll learn the answers could be deadly. Interesting. um, turning on a Johnson in the past in other games has gone badly for me. And let's see. Also, even if he is tier Tangar and intelligence, which I don't doubt he is, I'd rather he ends up with it than somebody who's going to be researching it that way. Would have been nice to get through without anybody noticing. That would have been nice. Can't save in the conversation. The Ho Chung Min Tiara station is testament to high-class design left to rot over a period of 15 years. Smelling of stale urine and mold, this stop has seen better days. With any luck, you'll be able to wrap up the job, and leave Ho Chung before the sun's fully up. Wu runs his tongue over one of his tusks and spits on the floor. This place smells like a dive bar in Touristville. You know we're going to get jumped, right? It's just a matter of when. Wayne doesn't seem like the kind of person to take disappointment well. If he tries it, we'll put him in the ground. Oh, absolutely, but consider this. He knows us. He knows our rep. That means he's not going to screw up and bring a pack of scrubs to take us down. Whatever he pulls, he's playing for keeps. Let's keep our eyes open and look around Ho Chung before going to the meet. I'd rather not charge headlong into an ambush if we can avoid it. Good. You're a little bit wiser than you let on. You always come off as a loose cannon, but you actually do, and you are a bit of a loose cannon, but you actually do look at things, recon and such like that. Stall vendor. This is a village. Okay. The music's a little bit Miami Vice. A little bit Kung Fu. 80s style synth electronic music kind of works well for cyberpunk. Hello! This street vendor is hawking obviously cheap junk. He probably bought in bulk from an outlet. Charms, trinkets, small toys litter his stall. He waves his arms excitedly, drawing you over. Hey friend! Come look at my wares. Many fine souvenirs for you. How about some information instead? The vendor eyes you warily, picking a few bits of stray food from his beard. Maybe I can help you, but how can you help me, eh? Oh, here's some money. What have you seen? It's always better to do that than intimidate. I tend to find the vendor greedily snatches the cred stick from your palm, turning it over and caressing it like a raccoon with the shiny coin. Yes, good. Thank you very much, my friend. I tend to find it's alternative in this case. Like, the strength thing is there so you don't have to spend the money, but I'd rather spend the money than use the strength thing. If there was a charisma option, I'd definitely go for that. There was some mercenaries moving through here earlier. Big guns, nasty expressions. I think they were from outside Hong Kong. I didn't understand the words they were saying. I didn't see how many there were. Less than 10, but enough to be a crowd. The junk vendor goes back to organizing his shop, nodding your direction. Anyone starts shooting, keep it away from my stall, eh? I don't want any trouble. Okay. An arms dealer. Out here. Not that it's very useful to me. This powerful troll watches you impassively as you approach, her expression unchanging. You look like the kind of person who might be interested in some hardware. You got a need, I can give you a solution. You game? Well, show me what you have. Basic. Oh, there you got a basic bit of clothing. I don't really have enough room to carry anything. How about some information? Anybody strange hanging around tonight? I don't have socialite. Why would this be socialite? Wouldn't this be gang? That seems kind of forced to be socialite. The troll eyes you impassively, taking a long time to ponder before speaking. If it was referring to Dr. Xin Yang, maybe. 250 new yen, and I tell you everything I know. Okay, here you go. Vendor pockets the cred stick without even looking at it. Much obliged. I saw some tsunami mercenaries arming up further down the canal. Drove right by them as they were strapping on armor and checking their guns. They didn't look particularly happy to be here, but I don't blame them. This is Combat Inc.'s backyard, and they wouldn't be welcome here. You got business with them? Keep it away from my van. Wu gives a sharp intake of breath, rocking back on his heels. Tsunami's bad news, Noel. Top-tier private military contractor. Tanks, close air support, dedicated naval transport division. You name it, they have it. They're not the kind of muscle you hire on the cheap. They cost a lot of new yen. The troll shrugs. I don't know what they're doing out in Ho Chung, and I don't really care as long as I don't get shot at. Looked like a protection detail, though. I didn't catch how many there were, but it was less than 10. They were well geared, and they didn't look like they had anything heavier than rifles or grenade launcher. Okay, that's all for now. Ooh. LTG. LTG access jack used for maintenance and diagnostic. A decker could use this to check recent traffic cameras, adjust grid guide and power flow, and manipulate basic utilities in the local area. Okay. Let's see if I can make up for the last time I did decking. Well, isn't this a glorious ballet? Okay, so that's not safe. That's not safe. This is a timing issue. This is safe. Uh-huh. Oh, that's the wrong one. We're gonna have black ice any moment now. Okay. Let's look to see what's safe. Is that safe? Surprisingly, that is safe. Okay, time for a new video. See you in a moment.